Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Carlos, and as promised, I'm putting together the rabbit hole video. Some of us spoke about it last night in the meetup group, and also in the Wizards of Amazon Facebook group. This is just one of a whole bunch of ways to discover potential wholesale vendors that you can contact and resell on Amazon. I like to call it the rabbit hole method. I've heard a lot of other people use that term, not sure where it began, but when I do this little video, you're going to see kind of why it is called the rabbit hole method, because you can just literally rabbit hole on forever. I will say also, again, this is not the only way to source for wholesale products. There's a lot of great ways. Don't forget, exhibition lists and, trade shows themselves. Getting out there on the street and going to a local, industrial warehouse area locally. There's a ton of great ways to do this. This is one of my favorites because at the end of the day, even if you go out there locally and you go to a trade show and you find something, most of the time when you're beginning, and this is what this video is geared towards, the beginner, most of the time what you're doing is you are going to go back and then you're going to look on Amazon to validate it and see that it already has traction. It's got pictures, it's got an established amount of velocity on Amazon already. So this method will allow you to do everything you need to do on Amazon. The second reason why I like it is it's one of the easiest things to train a virtual assistant to do. So we'll go through it. Quickly, I'm going to begin this, you need to discover a product on Amazon that usually a good indication of a product that's a wholesale product is one that has a lot of sellers on it. So this first product that we're going to look for is not a product that we're trying to sell, but who knows, maybe it will be. This is just a product, again, it's like a jumping off point. So in this case, having sold this brand in the past, Wholesale, it's an easy one to start. If not, it is very easy to find a brand that has a bunch of sellers on it that is a wholesale product. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and search Chemex, which is a coffee accessories brand that I used to sell, and it's the same one I used in the example last night in the meetup. And for those of you that asked me before, I'm going to pick the first one that's not a sponsored ad, but you could pick any of them. And in this case, we're looking at an Amazon product detail page, and we see that it has the what was I saying? Right here. So it has 14 sellers on the product. I'm going to click on that. So we got multiple sellers on a product, meaning it's probably not a private label product. How do I get rid of this? It's probably not a private label product, but it is one that has a whole bunch of sellers on it, which means it's probably a wholesale product or something that people are getting a hold of via arbitrage. But we're going to identify that and rule it out in a second. So at this part, I'm looking at all the different sellers. One thing that I look for at this point is I look for, again, this is not 100%, but this is really going to like speed up the process for you. And that is, brands, like this is a coffee product. This seller here, Espresso Parts, Barista Lab. Is there another one? No. So these are like very coffee specific. Could they be wholesalers? Absolutely. But they may have an actual store. There's a greater likelihood they have a store and they focus on this one specific niche that will, and that's all they reach out to, and that's what may have allowed them to qualify for the wholesale account. I like looking for people that have like a generic name or some broad category or department spanning name, because that means they probably came up with that name as a seller name to cover a wide variety of products. If I had a seller name and it was, we make the best peanut butter, then it kind of, when people click on it and they see I'm selling all these other products, they could think, well, does this guy focus on peanut butter or does he focus on just everything? And that's kind of like the thought process. I'm not saying that I agree with that, but that's kind of the thought process that people go about when, well, here's another one, Vision's Espresso Service. So it's like very kitchen related. So I try to look past those. Here we go. Outer Space Trader. Things that say trader, great deals for you, value buys, like these very broad seller names are usually giveaways of people that sell wholesale. But the next thing I look at, if I don't see any names like that really jumping out at me, is I look at seller reviews. Seller reviews, as almost everyone knows, seller and product reviews are very hard to come by. It's a very small percentage that actually convert and leave a review. So when you see somebody with 47,085 total seller reviews, this person has been selling a long time. This person with 475, just having sold for a while. Usually if you see somebody in the 1,000 to 2,000 range, they're usually about 2 years of selling to get that. 475, this person could be under a year. For the sake of this video, I like to look for people that are in the 750 to 2,000, 2,500 range on reviews, because they're not so big and so established that they're able to leverage this massive business they have to qualify for accounts, you know, with either a huge money buy or leverage their experience to get an account that the average new seller doesn't qualify for. Again, that's not 100%, but I'm trying to let you in on the thought process that I use for this. So for the sake of this video, so we definitely get some stuff to show, we'll go ahead and pick, let's do e-home shopping. Now at this point in e-home shopping, this next page, there is some stuff you can get off this, but not really for what I want to show in this video. So the next step, once you've done that, is I'm going to e-home shopping storefront. Now, this is really important here. And a lot of people lose sight of this, and I've seen people actually go out and start buying this product because they get so excited, like, oh my God, there's only one seller. I'll show you an example of that. Let's go right here. So I go over here, and you see, oh my God, there's only 2 sellers. I'm so gonna get on this. But both of these sellers are gonna be e-home. So you're like, oh my God, there's only one seller, let me get on it. Don't forget that once you clicked on the seller's name and once you clicked on their storefront, which is where we're at now, you're only seeing their stuff in their storefront, all right? Later on, I'll show you where we take it out of their storefront to further validate it. At this point, what I like to look at briefly is I'm looking for red. Red, I mean by this, you see, anytime there's 20 or less in stock, it'll turn red and say, oh, like in this case, only 10 left in stock. If I see a ton of red, the vast majority are red, as far as what's left in stock, I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6. So I see 6 out of this whole page of stuff. So it's not the majority. But what I look at with red is a ton of red, or everything with red, usually with everything less than 20 in stock, it's usually a great indication of somebody that's selling arbitrage. This is somebody that's finding 3 here, 5 there, 6 there. I'm not saying that's all you can get with arbitrage. Like, you could really load up your inventory, but for the vast majority of people doing arbitrage, that is what you'll see when you look at their storefront. In this case, I can tell that this person is probably not someone that's doing arbitrage. This is someone that has a lot of items that are over 20 because they're not red, and they're also not focused just on one niche. I mean, we've got a syrup pump that kind of ties with coffee, that's good, but beef bone broth by Kettle, you know, that doesn't really tie in with coffee. And then we have pure vanilla bean paste. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. It's not just focused on one thing, all right? So at that point, I've seen enough there, and this is the next important step. You go to see more in the storefront, or expand this out. Now, when you do that, it's gonna pull up all the brands, and you can even like isolate them by, you can isolate them by letter if you wanted to. Like, you could be that, it's that easy. And what I'm looking for here is multiples. Multiples. Again, if somebody is selling arbitrage and somebody is doing arbitrage, or they're doing private label. If you're in private label, you usually have only a few brands. Some people like to go, you know, a mile wide, an inch deep. But that's not what the vast majority of people would do. And either way, even in that case, it would be 5 or 6 brands. If you're doing arbitrage, you see a ton of brands, but you don't see a ton of multiples. And by multiples, I mean this. Let's look over at Amish Country Popcorn, which is the first listing, and it says 3. That means there's 3 ASINs in their storefront, or 3 SKUs in their storefront, 3 items in their storefront that they are selling of that product. Could they have received it by arbitrage? Sure. We saw that those particular products, when I'm remembering from when I glanced, did not have under 20. So the chances that they have 3 SKUs of this product with over 20 in stock and it being arbitrage is very low. And we got Atkinson, there's one, B&M, there's one, Berry Farm, there's 11. Now, if someone only has one item, does that mean they're arbitrage? Absolutely not. There's some wholesale vendors that, they have a catalog or they only have one product and it's a winner and it's worth getting. And you should still look into that. This video is geared more towards, in vein of the conversation we had last night, in the sense of, if I click on this one product and I follow up with B&M, great if I get it. For an equal amount of work, I could follow up with Da Vinci over here in the middle and get 25 potential products that I can sell. So for the same amount of work, I can get a great deal more of a greater bang for my buck, if you will. So let's just go down 3111, and then we have Berry Farm. So let's look into Berry Farm. I'm going to click on this, and here we go. These are all the products that this person is selling from Berry Farm. And it looks like I see a lot of red here for this one. Again, this does not mean that it's an arbitrage product. What this means usually is that the person's buying about a master box of this product, and it takes, that's what they're getting, because it sells like every 2-3 weeks or in a month's time. That's usually a sign of it. But since there is so many of them, it's a really great indication that this is a product that sells frequently. Take into account this is a product that we're using in this example that's in the grocery and gourmet section, but we could have rabbit holed in any direction. We see there's product reviews on this product, meaning that it does have some sales history. You can use Chrome extensions in the next step when we click into this product to further validate whether it's a good deal. That would be a whole other video, but let's just click on the first one for this example. So now we're in eHome Shopping, and we're subbed down into, or we're drilled down into, their Berry's Farm products. I have no idea who eHome Shopping is, by the way. I'm sure they're a great seller. So here we go. We got sea salt extra coarse for grinding. It's an Amazon Choice product. Great. I'm going to look down here real quick, and I see that it's, the rank is nice. You're going to get consistent sales at that point under 11,000 in grocery and gourmet, and it's number 40 in sea salts. Again, that's nice. That's you're not going to retire off that, but that is nice, consistent sales. But at this point, again, we're still in eHome Shopping's storefront, so we don't know if Amazon is selling this product directly themselves. And as you know, it's usually not a wise proposition, usually, to sell and compete against Amazon. And when you're first starting, I suggest you don't attempt it. Just my opinion. And I'm going to copy this ASIN, and I'm going to open up another tab for Amazon. I'm going to search for that. Now what I'm searching for, the reason I'm doing this is I'm looking for it outside of eHome Shopping's storefront. And here we go. Here's the product. Let's look at it. And now we see that there's 3 sellers over here that are selling the product. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to see if any of them are Amazon themselves selling direct. And they're not. Amazon is not selling this product directly. Something to note, though, is that eHome Shopping is the only one on fulfillment. This could be an exclusivity agreement that they arranged with Berry Farm. Another cool thing to note is that one of the sellers at the bottom is someone named Berry Farm Foods, which is an indication that this brand used to or currently has an offering to sell their product directly to the consumer. So at some point you could be potentially competing with the brand. It looks like in this case that they're not, that they've relaxed their price to let eHome Shopping get the buy box. It looks like the other seller is not even on FBA, even though they have over 13,000 reviews and therefore should understand the benefits of using FBA. Again, this is beginning to look like eHome Shopping, a very established seller, like I was saying in the beginning, on why when you go with a seller to start the rabbit hole process that has a ton of reviews, they may have buying power and leverage. So we're seeing a sign of that happening. That's fine. But what we see here is there is a potential to sell. We need to know, obviously, what the cost is of the products to see if it will be profitable. But this is something that could potentially be worth following up on. So what do you do at this point? I see what you want to do here is just to stay organized. I'm like, okay, here's the brand's name, Berry Farm. I'm going to go to a Google Sheet. I'm going to paste the brand name, number of selling ASINs. Let's go back over here. How many did we have? 3, 6, 9. There was 11. So again, a ninja tip here is you do this a few times till you get the hang of it, and use this video or do your own recording video, because you're probably going to want to add extra stuff to this Google Sheet, and use this to train a virtual assistant. This type of research work you could get for, you know, $2 to $4 to have somebody do, and maybe they do it at night, and they do this kind of rabbit holing at night, and then when you wake up in the morning you have this list of people that you could call. Another reason why it's good to put the information on the Google Sheet, and this would be the ninja tip of ninja tips, is that you could get a VA to handle this part of it. So you have one VA that all they do is rabbit hole, and you have another VA that, with this information filled out, may be the VA that, you know, calls on your behalf. Like, you get somebody with some decent phone sales skills on the phone. If it's in whatever country you're in that they're calling, make sure that they speak the native language. If you get to this field right here, and it's like, you know, the wholesale, they have a wholesale form on the website, and say that you would prefer to fill that out if they have it available, then you could have this person fill that out for you. Having all of this information here is the groundwork which you would need for that next VA. So let me not get too deep into VAs. You guys know I can ramble about VAs. So let's go back over here. We clicked on this one. Next field, some information that I like to see is the Facebook page URL. Let's go to Facebook, and I'm gonna go in here. What was it called? Berry Farms. Berry Farms page. And there we go. So there's ways to contact them. So we got it right here. They're an agricultural company. They have their phone number right here. I'm gonna grab that phone number first, and I'm gonna go over to the sheet. I'm gonna fill it in. I wanted their page URL just so that I can you know, the VA hopefully will be putting this in at some point, and put it out here. I would then also go to the website and see Berry Farms. Let me put Berry Farms and try to pull up berryfarms.com. I would grab their website. I didn't put that field in, so let me put website. I'm going to put that there. Time zone, I think this is important. The reason time zone is important is that if you can find it. I mean, I want to go through every single field here that we can, but we see they're from Ohio, so you would look up what time zone Ohio's in. The reason that's important is on the day there, or whatever time you're going to go through and you're going to start doing calls about following up with these vendors, if that's the case. If you decide that you're going to do your calls between like 9 and 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and you're calling people that are located on the West Coast, then they're not even in work yet, and you're just banging your head against the wall for no reason. You're not going to make any progress. So this time zone field I like to put, and the wholesale form on the website is just a matter of sometimes about us. A lot of the times it's under contact information, return policy, privacy statement. There's a contact email that they can be contact, and let me see, ordering, about us. I don't want to waste your guys' time with that, but you navigate around the website and you look for the rest of the information that goes here. You can add any other information that you would like added onto this form. Again, this is for your organizational purposes and to better follow up. I later on and go ahead and add fields here to update, you know, called at such and such time, spoke to so and so, left a voicemail on this date. Cool tip is when you're on their Facebook page is send message. You know, reach out to them on Messenger. Facebook is really starting to get stricter with people's response times on Messenger. So it'll behoove you for you to reach out to them on Messenger. A little tip I like to do is I don't like to leave a voicemail, and I personally am better at closing someone on the phone, and that is I'll reach out to them and say, hey, look, I've called several times from the phone number that's on the website to no avail. I'm a brick and mortar business, or I'm this blah 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 business, and I'm interested in reselling your products. Could you provide me the best number that I can call, or a local rep that I can speak to? Whatever your angle is. How to talk to wholesale vendors and close wholesale accounts is a whole other topic. So yeah, so you put all this information here. Now before closing, again, the title of this, the process of what this is called rabbit holing. And The reason it's called rabbit holing is what we've done is we've gone from a seller, we go from a product that identify with multiple sellers, we've rabbit holed down into a seller name, we've rabbit holed down into a storefront, we've rabbit holed down into a product with multiple ASINs being sold by that seller, and we've rabbit holed down into their website, to their their Facebook page, their other social media stuff if you want. Don't leave out Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, all of that. Reach out to them on Twitter too, all of it. You can put all those URLs in that Google sheet that's applicable. So, but the beauty of this, all that rabbit holing is amazing, but the absolute beauty of rabbit holing is, remember over here, we opened up let me close these out. We opened up another tab and we went and searched for the product to see all the sellers that are here, right? So there's another seller here. A lot of the times there's like 16 other sellers. And if there wasn't, and say this died right here, all we would have to do is go back to where we started, to the Chemex product where we found eHome Shopping, pick another vendor, which we can do really quick afterwards, and repeat the same process. Or we go back to the same person's storefront, and remember, we just picked the third one on that massive list that had multiples. We could go to another one that has multiples and repeat the same process. So this is a never-ending thing. Like I'm a huge fan of trade shows. I'm a huge fan of exhibition lists. I'm a huge fan of all the other sources that a person can use to search for potential vendors to buy wholesale from and resell online. Huge. I'm not discrediting any of them. This video is more for the person that's like cramped with time, the process is very uncomfortable for them right now, and they need to validate it quickly and see that this works. This is the one of the easiest, and it's also a very effective way to go about finding a bunch of accounts that you could contact for resale. So in this case, one of the ways to rabbit holes is we see that we have somebody named Yankee Traders. Person has 13,150 total reviews, so that they're an established seller. I'm going to open this up in another tab. So I'm in this seller now, and this is a further rabbit hole. I'm going to their storefront now, and same thing. I'm looking for a whole bunch of red. I don't see a whole bunch of red, and I'm going to go to see more. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for multiples, and here we go. There's 2s, 4s. Let's find a real good one. 1. There's a 3. Farrapan. Miss Miller's is 12. The Old Wax Shack, 94. Oh my Lord, the Old Wax Shack. So here we go. I mean, this is insane. This is 94. This is 94 potential SKUs that you can sell. Like, I don't even know. This might be a winner. It might not. But let's look at it. Sold by the brand is Old Wax Shack. Yankee Traders. I'm gonna look over here. BSRs. Nothing to write home about. But we can do a quick search just to see, to validate if Amazon's on it. Maybe it meets the criteria you're going for, or maybe the margins are awesome and they don't have high MOQs. And we found this one. It only has 9 reviews. So let's see. We did the rank. I'm looking for sellers. Is Amazon selling the product themselves? No, they are not. Only Yankee Traders is selling the product. Jesus, that might be an opportunity. It's also ranked, almost 300,000, but it doesn't have extra images. It doesn't look like anybody really gave this listing some love. So if you did have some skills, this is not for the beginner. This is a little side tip, because when I see stuff like this, I'm just like, why did you create the listing even to begin with? If you have some skills on how to optimize a listing, and in this case, not even deep optimizations, there's some very affordable, I would say common sense things that you could do to this listing to improve it and dramatically increase sales. And be sharing the box with only one other person. So we rabbit holed that way, and let me show you the 2 other ways to rabbit hole. The other way is so we're here on eHome Shopping. We got to this product, and we want now say Yankee Trading was not there. We could not go further in that direction. So we would just go back to the eHome Shopping where we started, and we go to more. We've already looked for the red there. We went to Berry Farm. We can now just go to the next one, 42, big train. And I won't take you guys through the whole process again, but there you go. You can continue rabbit holing. Let me just pick, one of these products to show you. I'm hoping this one. Always when you do a video, it doesn't play nice with you, but just to show you that because the Yankee one only had, you know, one other one there. How many sellers are here? Perfect. This one right here was the second product we looked at in eHome Shopping, and look at this. Look at all of these other sellers, other potentials to deep dive and rabbit hole into what they are selling that you can also sell. And let's look for some Ask Direct, super vague, serious shops, Bargain Direct. Remember the word I was telling you? Bargains. TA National Trading, Supply Village, Starship Shops. These are some vague titles, people that are trying to cover a wide array of wholesale products. And these are ripe for rabbit holing. So I really hope this video helped. I didn't send you guys the link of the other one because really the other rabbit hole video I had, the audio was horrible. And I was just putting something together really quick for my friend Romina. I'm thinking this one will be a lot more helpful. And if you guys have any questions, just, you know, please let me know. All right. Let's go. I'm out.